Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our news broadcast from Davis Hall. My name is John Hurl.
And I'm Emily Schmitzer, bringing you stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community. Today we'll be covering stories including Kevin McCarthy leaving Congress and the dog flu sweeping the country.
We will also have packages made by our student reporters, including Christmas in Indiana and the Navigator program.
But first, let's start with some stories close to us.
Pennsylvania State Police are investigating a reported child luring incident they say happened Tuesday in Indiana County. State Police said an unknown suspect attempted to lure an 11-year-old boy toward a vehicle along Washington Church Road in Rain Township. The boy was walking home after getting off the school bus at the time of the incident. Police said the suspect stayed in the vehicle and did not make physical contact with the boy. The suspect is described as a black male in his 30s with short hair. He was wearing a dark blue hooded sweatshirt and a bandana or facial covering at the time of the incident. The suspect could be driving a black Toyota sedan, possibly a Prius. Police said the car fled toward Route 119. Anyone with information is asked to call Troop A Indiana at 724-357-1960.
If you're curious about your distant relatives, you probably knew 23andMe. Nearly data from 7 million users had been stolen. Hackers accessed the data with logins that were the same on other websites. The stolen info included users' names, ancestry data, profile pictures, birth years, and locations. And 23andMe spokespersons admitted that the hackers were able to directly access 0.1%, or around 14,000 accounts. Currently, 23andMe has around 14 million total users.
State leaders kicked off this 2023 holiday season in Harrisburg with the annual tree lighting ceremony on Tuesday. The 20-foot tree is from Crystal Spring Tree Farm in Lehighton. It's decorated with 1,250 LED lights and more than 700 handmade ornaments, donated by Pre-K for PA students and Pennsylvania Department of Aging seniors across the state. And there's not only one 20-foot tree in Harrisburg, but two. In addition to the rotunda tree, there's another Douglas fir, also from Crystal Spring Tree Farm, outside on the Capitol steps. The Central Dauphin High School Choir led the audience through Christmas carols, and there was even an appearance from Santa Claus. The tree in the rotunda will be lit daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and the tree on the Capitol steps will be lit daily from 5 p.m. to midnight through January 8th, 2024.
Former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy decided to have early retirement and leave the Congress. McCarthy won and lost the role of Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives this year. McCarthy is only the Speaker in history to be voted out of the job. His decision marks 17 years of his congressional career.
Still ahead on IUP News, our reporter Hannah Holland has a story about the Indiana Theater.
And Nathan Osler tells us about Christmas in Indiana.
Let's talk about mental health. Not many people realize that your mental health is just as important as your physical. As college students, many different factors can contribute to poor mental health, such as the pressure to succeed, financial instability, social media, and poor health habits. So how do you maintain good mental health? Exercising multiple times a week, eating better on a daily basis, drinking less, and setting achievable goals for yourself are great ways to stay on top.
The U.S. Coast Guard rescued 5 people from flooded areas on Tuesday as an atmospheric river brought heavy rain, flooding, and unseasonably warm temperatures to the Pacific Northwest. The conditions also closed rail links, schools, and roads in some areas and shattered daily rainfall and temperature records in Washington state. In southwest Washington, a Coast Guard helicopter rescued a man from the roof of his truck in floodwaters near the hamlet of Rossburg and also rescued 4 people who were trapped in a house surrounded by 4 feet of water, a Coast Guard statement said. Amtrak said that no passenger trains will be running between Seattle and Portland, Oregon until Thursday because of a landslide. The National Weather Service issued flood warnings in parts of western Washington, including in areas north and east of Seattle and across a large swath of the Olympic Peninsula.
Veterinarians across the country are scrambling to treat the rising number of dogs sick with a severe type of respiratory illness. Currently, they are trying to figure out what's causing the current outbreak, how widespread it is, and how many previously healthy dogs have become ill or died. This outbreak is different from other respiratory illnesses because it can lead to pneumonia.
Heavy snow and strong winds all contributed to the cancellation of the Birds of Prey World Cup at Beaver Creek over the weekend. All 3 races, including the Super G, were called off Sunday due to adverse weather conditions. The organization has never had to cancel more than 1 race in a scheduled weekend due to weather, dating back to its first year hosting international racing in 1981. Last year, the same thing happened to 1 downhill race, as well as 2018. The Birds of Prey event was canceled in 2016 because of unseasonably warm weather, and then again in 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Guyana's president, Arfan Ali, said the country is taking every necessary step to protect itself from Venezuela. Recently, Venezuela has ordered its state-owned companies to explore and exploit oil and minerals in Guyana's region. Ali said his government is reaching out to allies and regional partners to protect the area, which makes up 2/3 of the country. All emphasizes the importance of diplomacy and that has reached out to other leaders, including from the US, India, and Cuba, so they can encourage Venezuela to do what is right that could disrupt the peace within this zone.
After our sports segment, we will hear a story on the Allenwood,
In IUP's new Navigator program.
But now we will move on to our sports report.
Thank you, John. The Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a 24-10 loss against the Arizona Cardinals. This was not a proud moment for Steelers fans, as the Cardinals could arguably be the worst team in the NFL, holding a 3-10 record. With Kenny Pickett out with an ankle injury, the Lurs have to rely on backup quarterback Mitch Trubisky to somehow lead this struggling offense. Trubisky threw for 177 yards with only 1 touchdown, pretty much equivalent to how Pickett has been playing. The Steelers play tomorrow night against the struggling Bill Belichick Patriots at 8:15 in Acrisure Stadium. The Pittsburgh Penguins are currently on a 2-game losing streak after losing to the Philadelphia Flyers back-to-back. Penguin star Sidney Crosby had the only goal Monday night, losing 2-1. Going into tonight's game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Pittsburgh is looking to get more going offensively with more shots on goal than previous games. The Pens record is currently sitting at 11-10-3, which is 7th in the Metropolitan Division. The Philadelphia 76ers had a few days off to regroup after losing their 2 previous games to the Pelicans and the Celtics. The 76ers are still maintaining a dominant record of 12-7, placing them 4th in the Eastern Conference. Tyrese Maxey continues to be the leading offensive weapon for the Sixers, as Embiid continues to play how he always does. The Sixers play the Wizards tonight at 7 p.m. in Washington. That'll do it for our sports report today. Now back to our regular news.
We all have a story. It's telling those stories that matter. That's why IUP's communications program airs its own news bulletin on Iup TV and 90.1 WIUP FM, with the people you know telling the stories. Here, there are new aspiring journalists ready to start their career strong. Even if news isn't your goal, there is a place here for everyone. This is IUP News, with stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community.
There are many places to enjoy the arts here on campus, but there is also the Indiana Theater on Philadelphia Street. It offers many different showings, from local music artists to Hollywood blockbusters. Hannah Holland has the story.
For the last year, the dedicated team at the Indiana Theater have been working to revitalize the 100-year-old space on Philadelphia Street. The Downtown Theater project was started last November with the goal of bringing life back to the theater and turning it into a community space for Indiana's residents.
We have a really dedicated board. We have a fantastic board president. She's also our executive director in Veldora Rice. She has a vision for this place that is really exciting, and one of the things that really drew me to want to be a part of this theater. We also have a really great technical director in Steve Holliday. He takes care of all of our lighting and sound, and he makes the music sound great. He makes the movies look great and sound great. We have some really dedicated and knowledgeable people on our staff and on our board. We have an electrician. We have people from all different walks of life that come together to make this place really special. So, yeah, and we have a lot to do, but we're all very excited about doing it.
That was C.J. Magilton, a member of the Indiana Theater Board. She spoke about the board president's vision for the theater, a vision which she shares.
The vision of this theater is to primarily, number one, is to bring shows and performances that reflect our community and attract all of our community members. So, young, old, in between, every possible dynamic of demographic in Indiana and outside of Indiana. Our goal is to become a community space.
Appealing to all audiences in the community has been a challenge for the theater since starting the project, but board member Jessica Smith shared with our news team how they go about selecting performances and movie showings as a group.
We do have meetings for programming to decide what we're going to show, and oftentimes it's just who comes to us and says, hey, we'd like to do a drag show here. We would like to do a concert here. We would like to do a performance here. That's one piece of it, is that just availability. And then we have sort of viewer choice things. So we'll put out on Facebook and other social media, like, out of these 5 movies, what would you like to see? And then we let people vote on them and see those sort of things. And then we'll try to do things that are seasonal or appropriate for that time.
The Indiana Theater's upcoming seasonal showings include screenings of Elf on December 7th and 8th, Miracle on 34th Street on December 13th, and a Very, Very Merry Holiday Benefit Concert on December 15th. This is Hannah Holland reporting for IUP News.
IUP is always coming up with new ways to make students' lives easier. This includes the university's newest venture, the Navigator program. John brings us the story.
Every year, IUP strives to make students' lives easier, whether that be more dining options or tutoring services. The university's latest venture is the Navigator program. This consists of over a dozen people whose sole job is to help students with any questions they may have. But even though the point of the Navigators is to be there for students, the majority of students have yet to even meet their Navigators. Many students have no idea what the Navigators do and how they can help, or how they are different from advisors. Emily Schmitzer, a senior communications student, discusses her knowledge of the Navigator program and how it can be improved.
My experience with the Navigator program is that I didn't even know I had one. So basically, I got an email a few weeks ago and I didn't really know who it was from. And I'd received texts here and there, but I always thought it was spam. So I didn't really know I had one, but I feel like the program could be useful, but in a better way, for the sense of making sure that we're getting our messages directly. I would get my email and I thought it was spam, or they would send me a text. So I feel like a way that they can make it better is just sending emails saying, "Hi, I am your Navigator," because otherwise I had no idea. And I don't really know what they help me with, because since this is my senior year, I don't really need that much more navigating because I'm almost done. So I feel like the program isn't really helping me in that sense.
It seems most students simply don't know how to contact their Navigators, but the university has made it very easy. Dr. Amber Racchini, the Vice Provost for Student Academic Success, explains how students can get in touch with their Navigators.
It depends on how they initially reached out to the Navigator. If it's a matter of not knowing who their Navigator is, they can log into My IUP, and under the Academics tab, they can see their academic advisor, and then right underneath that, it lists Navigator and the contact information for the Navigator. So that would be the first solution, is trying to figure out where to locate the Navigator. In terms of contacting the Navigator, our Navigators can be found face-to-face in the University College, which is part of B01 Stately, right next to the Starbucks across from Clark Hall. They can also contact the Navigators on email. They can do phone call, they can do Zoom, and our Navigators are able to meet students where they are and meet with them outside of the 8 to 4:30 standard operating hours.
The Navigators are an excellent resource that is available to every student at IUP, on and off campus. They are here to help with any questions or concerns students may have outside of what an advisor can do. Students should not hesitate to reach out to their Navigators. This is John Hurl for IUP News. With finals right around the corner, it's hard for students to feel the Christmas spirit. But here in Indiana, the Christmas tree capital of the world, there are plenty of ways to celebrate. Our reporter Nathan Osler discusses Christmas in Indiana. Here's the story.
As you're walking towards Philly Street from IUP's campus, you might notice not much lighting for the holidays. However, as you keep walking, a sense of holiday magic will soon arrive. As you turn the corner to walk down Philly Street, you will become engulfed by the joy of Christmas. Indiana, PA is known to be one of the top towns in the state when it comes to Christmas. Whether it's the love for Christmas trees, the small train displays in store windows, or even the hometown hero Jimmy Stewart, the holidays bring joy to the city. I talked to a student, Carson Zadroga, about his thoughts about the area during Christmas.
So Christmas time is a very lovely and wonderful time, full of kindness, happiness, joy, just a lot of fun and enjoyment. Very nice, wonderful lights. Indiana especially looks very nice, especially at night with all the lights and stuff like that. And when it snows, it looks so beautiful here. It looks really great. I would say it even looks quite magical. I absolutely love how it looks.
I then talked with Andrew Simon, another student here at IUP, and he gave me his thoughts.
So I could get the vibe that Indiana is a Christmas town. I mean, you go down Philly Street and you have all the Christmas lights, which look great. Like, there's a ton of lights, and it's a fun time just strolling down there, just seeing everything. And I think part of that has to do with, like, the influence Jimmy Stewart has for the town, and with him being a well-known Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life. Like, yeah, like, going down there, you definitely get the Christmas spirit being down there, and just having all the shops that have all these Christmas stuff, and just hot chocolate. But when it comes to, like, on campus, like Indiana University, Pennsylvania, I mean, unless you bring Christmas decorations to your dorm, you're not going to get anything else. I know, like, the dining hall has holiday meals, but yeah, I think they could do more.
Overall, the Christmas season brings so much joy to the city. With many students being from out of town, it can be nice to take a walk down Philly Street and enjoy the Christmas lights and Christmas cheer. And as they say here in Indiana, it's always a wonderful life here. For IUP TV News, I'm Nathan Osler.
Looking for some new entertainment? Check out Iup TV today. This station features student-created content such as The Big Hit for sports coverage, Animation Nation for all things anime and toons, Indie Rockers Ball for local music acts, Press Start for your game fix, and Witticism for a laugh. Tune in on Campus TV or on our respective YouTube channels today. There's something for everyone, made by the people that you know.
Your future beckons, calling from a place where there's plenty of room to grow, where possibilities are abundant, where you'll be challenged every day to uncover the best version of you, where you can blossom. The place, IUP. Here, like the clusters of oaks in our renowned oak grove, we're united in helping you reach new heights. Ready to heed the call? Get in the grove at IUP.
And that's going to be it for us this week at IUP News, in association with students looking for careers in the communications media field. I'm John Hurl.
And I'm Emily Schmitzer. We're your hosts for today. Be sure to follow our Instagram page at IUP_news and our YouTube channel at IUP News 4207. Please take care, and we'll see you next year.